Welcome back. It is a long overdue video together, but you know it's draft time.
And you know we couldn't miss doing the ever so famous top 10 NFL mock draft. We've been doing it for 3 years. I hadn't been on this thing in a minute, and it was like, bruh, it's time. It's time.
Time to get together. This will be our 4th one, and as we always say, it can't get much worse than the first video.
I'll never forget that, ever. I was sitting there thinking Mike Evans is going to go to the Detroit Lions, and what else did I already say he was going to do?
Bucks, but you got that one right.
I did get that one right.
Thankfully. But, of course, we're going to talk a little bit about this draft before we get into the mock draft. So what are you looking forward to the most? Any position groups or names or players that you're really looking forward to this draft class?
JT, I told you this numerous times. The NFL draft has not always been one of my biggest main, it was not one of my area of expertise. I'm more along the lines of free agency, and when we get into training camp and during the season, that's where I start to develop my knowledge of players. But during the NFL draft and the college world, I only care really about what goes on at the University of Georgia and Florida State. I really don't pay attention to prospects around the country unless they're big names like the Christian McCaffreys or the Leonard Fournettes or the Myles Garretts or the, those guys. I really don't know about the Alvin Kamara's or the Malik Hookers or the I think I might have even screwed his name up. That goes to show you that my area outside of the big names is not really my area of expertise, but generally around this time of the year, and when we come up with these ideas, that's when I start to put on my thinking cap, no pun intended, and I go ahead and put something together, and that is what I dreamt up right here, my friend.
Yeah, we got the mock drafts. I mean, there's definitely been a lot of hype this draft class for the defense when you look at defensive line and the cornerbacks, both really special.
Like I said, this may not be my area of expertise, but it's one thing I noticed when I was looking through other mock drafts and other highlights to get an idea of I noticed there is a lot of really, really good talent in this on the defensive side of the ball this draft, and a lot of good running backs you could take in this draft too. You could get as good can get as good as Dalvin Cook or Leonard Fournette, or you can even get as good as Alvin Kamara or somebody in relation to that.
Marlon Mack in the third rounds. I mean, there's definitely some options, especially considering both of our teams would probably use a little bit of help on that defensive side. Nice to have some prospects there. What position groups do you think Tampa needs to address, not just in the first round, but as the draft as a whole?
Overall, I think the Bucs need to focus on their secondary. I mean, you got to think, okay, our corners, I like our corners in Brent Grimes and Vernon Hargreaves III. I like our safety in regards to J.J. Wilcox. And Chris Conte could use some work, but Chris Conte, he'll play, and then he it's like he wants it's like he shows up when he wants to, and he just, the biggest loss the Bucs took this free agency was Bradley McDougald. I will miss Bradley McDougald times 100. Bradley McDougald was a ball hawk. Bradley McDougald was a hard hitter. Bradley McDougald was good covering tight ends. I will miss Bradley McDougald, and the Bucs have to fill that hole with Bradley McDougald being gone, and they could use a decent nickel corner with getting rid of Altron Werner. They could use more speed on the edge, even though they went and got Chris Baker. They can still go out and get maybe the Derek Barnett from Tennessee, or they could keep, or they could go and they could do the favor pick and bring together the combination of Jameis Winston and Dalvin Cook.
The Tampa Bay Seminoles.
You know what? Those guys won national championships. It wouldn't hurt to bring him back.
I don't think too many people would be laughing if you had Jameis Winston and Dalvin Cook. Not to mention
Dalvin Cook might be the best thing to come out of Florida State since work done.
Then you start thinking about wide receivers. You got Mike Evans, Deshaun Jackson. Get a little bit of an offense going. Cameron Braid, a tight end, not half bad.
Adam Humphries.
Beef up the O-line, you might have an offense for Jameis to work with.
Yeah, that was another area I was going to go with, the offensive line. The Bucs should have picked that up too. And, I like our line with Hawley and Marpet and Smith and Dotson and those guys. And, we have a pretty decent line. Now, if we could just quit with the false starts and the holdings, we'll be good to go. But, the Bucs could go anywhere, pick and choose with this draft. I mean, but the main focus here, is the secondary.
Yeah, I think for the Dolphins, they, first of all, offensive line, right off the bat, obviously you get to now move Laramie Tunsil out to left tackle. He should be your left tackle for the next 5 to 10 years as you get rid of Albert, so good job picking him last year. Of course, we were there.
Of course, everybody was, that was a shocker pick in my opinion.
A surprise.
We were thinking, I can't remember who we were thinking they were saying Miami was going to take, but we did.
Laramie
Tunsil definitely not on our thought process for that.
But
just like Vernon Hargrave wasn't on my thought process either. I wanted
draft man, you never know.
Yeah, I can't even think of who I wanted at the time, but I knew he came from the University of Georgia. But he was a good pass rusher. I can't think of his name right now. That'll come to me at the end of this video.
But I think now you could maybe look to beef up the interior with some guards. They could probably use another cornerback, maybe a pass rusher, as Cam Wake is 35. Still playing well, but...
Well, whatever you're going to do, because you're going to need all the strength you can get when you play us on week 1.
Yeah, apparently that's the word on the street, which would be an interesting matchup. But, of course, it's pretty interesting. So just to check it, I know you brought it up. On a scale of 1 to 10, just lay it all out there. How much are you secretly kind of hoping for Dalvin Cook?
10. I told you this before. Dalvin Cook might be the best running back I have seen in a long time. The Bucs have drafted some pretty decent running backs over time that just turned out to be... You look at Doug Martin. Doug Martin is inconsistent as the Rays in their winning combination at the moment. You know, we were just talking about this earlier. The Rays will get swept, then they'll sweep. Doug Martin will have a 1,000-yard rushing season, get hurt, have him under 500 yards rushing, and then he'll get hurt. Then it's time for his contract renewal, and he'll run for 1,500 yards, and he'll come out the next year and do crap. And you look at Cadillac Williams. Cadillac Williams had a breakout stellar rookie year. 1,000-yard rusher. All this other stuff. Went out and busted his knee the next 2 years. Busted 2 knees. I mean, the Bucs haven't had a long-term, consistent back since Warren Dunn. And even then, Michael Pittman. And then we decided to gamble and get Cadillac Williams. 2 blown knees later. What's that situation with?
Well, thank you, Stephen A. Smith, for that rant. But now, it is time. It is mock draft time. We both got our papers. We both got some mock draft. Of course, let us know down below, what do you think of our mock drafts? And what would be your top 10, your first round? Go as deep as you want to go. And you're going to kick it off with that first pick?
With the first pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns will do the obvious and ruin the career of Myles Garrett.
Well, I'm going with a shocker.
Uh-oh.
Bang it. No, I'm kidding. Myles Garrett. I mean, the Browns are not always ran the best, but when you got the number 1 prospect right there, and you got the number 1 pick...
And you can always start somewhere with trying to reboot that team. You just pull the trigger.
And I'm not interested in some people are talking, they're still thinking quarterback at number 1. Listen, you can't do that. You have the 12th overall pick, you have 2 second-round picks, and next year's draft class anyway is a better quarterback class.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to hear quarterback around 1. You can get 1 later. You're probably going to ruin his career, especially anyway.
Yeah.
So, take Myles Garrett and at least try to get something pretty good. And they got Carl Nassib in the second round last year, so you'd have a nice little pass rushing duo there.
I mean, you can't... You could tell the management in Cleveland is trying. It's not their fault that they're just a bad football team. They got good coaching. I'll give you. Hugh Jackson's a hell of a coach, but they just got a bad roster.
Speaking of management being the focus, let's talk about the number 2 San Francisco.
My boyhood idol is a general manager.
Yes.
That took some time to sink in.
Johnny Lynch.
Old boy Johnny's going home to California to manage the Niners. And with his first pick, as general manager, he's going to try to bring in new leadership with his new coach, Kyle Shanahan, and try to boost up their offense and try to get themselves a new franchise quarterback who just won himself a national title, Mr. Deshaun Watson.
Oh, getting big and fancy, Johnny Lynch. Need a new quarterback. Shake things up a bit. Well, I'm also going to make things exciting because he's going to look over at Kyle Shanahan. And where Kyle Shanahan just come from?
Atlanta.
And I know you may not want to admit this, but how far did they make it last year?
The Super Bowl.
And they may have lost, but that's still pretty good. Still pretty good.
No, Justin, they didn't just lose. They put one of the biggest chokes in Super Bowl history.
They might have, but I think Johnny Lynch is going to be like, hey, what were y'all doing over there? And he's like, you know what we had? We had 2 really, really good running backs.
Devontae Freeman and
Kevin Coleman.
That had to come to mind real quick.
So we got them running backs. And
Yep.
Kyle Shanahan's going to say, Johnny Lynch, what do we got? Well, we got Carlos Hyde. He gets a little injury prone. 6 contract year.
Getting older.
We could, you know what? I'm thinking running back. And Kyle Shanahan's going to go, you know what? I'm thinking running back too.
Uh-oh.
We going to LSU. Leonard Fournette. 2nd overall. Johnny Lynch is going to be like, nah, we going physical, pounded, Carlos Hyde, Leonard Fournette, try to stop that running game. That's their 2nd
I mean, with that offensive line, it's not hard to stop that.
Ooh. All right, what about Chicago, the Bears?
And the 3rd pick in the 2017 NFL Draft. The Chicago Bears can't pass this up. I thought I messed up his name earlier, but I got it right. They're going to go with the safety. They're going to take Malik Hooker.
Ah, great pick, great pick. The safeties are really good this year.
See, the problem is, the thing with it, the Bears' offense was bad, but nothing was worse than their defense. Did you not watch them play the Bucs last year? Jameis Winston ran all around the field and still found Mike Evans wide open down the field. I wouldn't say he's wide open, but he was open.
They got their quarterback of the future, so what do they got worried about?
Oh my Lord! They signed Napoleon Dynamite to a 15-year deal.
Well, you know what? The Bears are going to have the same mindset of improving that defense, but I'm not going in the secondary. I'm going on the defensive line, and you can go ahead and give me Solomon Thomas, defensive end out of Stanford. Oh yes, but that's all right. You know what? Things shaking up a little bit. They're going to take the overall. And they are going to beef up that defensive line, which I think would actually be a pretty decent defensive line because they got, I just remembered it, Leonard Floyd last year.
There we go.
Your boy. So you would have Leonard Floyd and Solomon Thomas.
That's fast and fast. That's a pound and speed right there.
All right, what about Jayville? Can we get a pick that finally makes Jacksonville good? Every year it seems like they kill in the draft, but then they don't win.
Well, that's just the Jacksonville curse. But anyways, the Jacksonville Jaguars will be selecting Jonathan Allen.
Oh, gotta love it. And you know what? You look at them and you're like, do they really need any more defensive line help? But might as well take that best player available.
They could this defense has the potential to be a top 5 defense. If they could just stop killing themselves with injuries and stop killing themselves with, their defense wasn't even all that bad last year, but they just kept getting hurt.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm actually going to go a little bit different. One pick later, I'm going Malik Hooker, safety. But here's the problem. They just signed safety Barry Church. They don't really need safety. So I'm going to kick him over to cornerback. And now I got Jalen Ramsey and Malik Hooker.
That works out.
It does work out.
That works out. In the, 5th?
Yes, 5th pick.
5th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft.
Yes,
the Tennessee Titans. They were on a roll. They were doing pretty good until Marcus Mariota got
literally on a roll. All they did was run.
Yep. What is one of the most powerful things, or what is the most beneficial thing you can get out of a tight end? Not only can he catch the ball,
Run block.
he can block. I recall watching a certain team this year be able to put up big numbers in a running game because they had a very big tight end who could also catch the ball. This young man just finished his tenure at the runner-up of this year's national championship. Tennessee Titans are going to take O.J. Howard and give Marcus Mariota another toy.
Nice. That is up there. But you know what? I think it's a perfect pick for the Tennessee Titans. They definitely need a tight end. And as you said, they have that offensive line that can run block, and now they get O.J. Howard.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a wall. But I'm going to go a little bit differently. I'm going to give him Marshawn Lattimore. Give him a true #1 cornerback, a potential stud. Try and shut down Andrew Luck and whoever the Texans throw out there.
DeAndre Hopkins. Now we go down to the Jets. The Jets. Oh, the Jets. His favorite joke. The New York Jets.
The Jets. Tank season, baby.
Here's their situation. The Jets are trying to find a replacement for Darrelle Revis. The Jets need a replacement for Darrelle Revis.
Yeah.
Hell, the Jets could use Jesus at this moment. The New York Jets are going to find that replacement, and the guy that he just said was going to go a pick before him, and use Marshawn Lattimore.
Ah, that's
because
nice.
Marshawn Lattimore is Patrick Peterson, but only better. I think he told me that one. Then I looked at his highlights. I was like, yeah, he might be right.
Yeah, well, you know what? I can't give him that. I think that'd probably be their perfect pick. Because like you said, you lose Revis, you add Lattimore, but I've already given Lattimore to Tennessee. And so I'm not interested in a quarterback. The quarterbacks aren't that great this year. You already got 15 that you drafted in the last few years, apparently. You know what? I'm going to let Bryce Petty and Christian Hackenberg kind of battle it out for a year. It's a tank season anyway. What I need, I just need good players. I'm not going to be that good next year. I just need good players. I just need people that I know are going to be all right. And I know
they just lost their best receiver ever.
And I know that they're going to. So, hey, go ahead and give me a safe pick. Reuben Foster, linebacker, Alabama.
Can't go wrong there. Can't go wrong there at all. Now, if we jump to the number 7 pick in this year's draft, the Los Angeles Chargers. Gotta get used to saying that.
The StubHub Center, 32,000 seats.
Emily Arena fills up half of that a year. A game, all year long. 19,000. Of course, that might not be accurately 19 half, but anyways.
We'll go with it.
The Los Angeles Superchargers. That doesn't get the same ring. We'll take Jamal Adams as they try to help replace Eric Weddle.
Nice, nice. Well, you know who else they need to replace? At that tight end position?
Ooh, that Antonio Gates. Who gets that replacement?
It's going to be O.J. Howard, because a lot of people are going to talk defense when it comes to the Chargers, but ultimately, you're not pulling the top 5 defense out of nowhere. You got to help Phillip Rivers out. Give him O.J. Howard.
I feel so bad for Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, sometimes I do too.
Meanwhile, down in the 8th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, as we keep on speaking of players who are getting old and need replacement, we talk about the Carolina Panthers. And we go on their offensive side of the ball. They got this one running back who just keeps getting hurt. And keeps getting hurt. And keeps getting hurt. No matter what you do with him. So
some people draft them on their fantasy team. Thank you, Jonathan Stewart.
Anyway, so we're going to replace you. And we're going to give... I don't like doing this, but the Carolina Panthers will select Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, it's got to be painful, man. That'd be a good option for them, man. If he's still on the board and they can get him for that running back position, pair him up with Cam Newton. Bad news. Or, dun-dun-dun.
Oh, that might be a trade.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the right noise, but it is a trade because the Carolina Panthers are not going to pick at 8.
Okay.
It's going to be somebody else because, ladies and gentlemen, the Carolina Panthers have traded the 8th pick in this year's draft to the Seattle Seahawks in exchange for cornerback Richard Sherman. Yeah, that's right. I'm going with the rumors. Nobody's safe. My fantasy land, my mock draft. Deal with it. Seattle Seahawks picking at 8, and you know what? They're going to get the future of the Legion of Boom. Safety, LSU, Jamal Adams. Pipe bomb. Just drop an atom bomb on this mock draft.
Drop the mic.
Drop it. I mean, it's not going to happen, but...
I mean, hey, this is
our
our show. We can say whatever happens.
You can't tell me it's not going to happen.
We could trade frickin' Tom Brady to the Browns if we wanted to.
No, Jacksonville. He's gone.
Oh, yeah, we can.
I got that next. Just wait.
Well, as we drop down to the number 9th overall pick, I mean, it doesn't really matter for us. It's the Cincinnati Bengals. And they're going to power up their line. They're going to bulk up their defensive line and take Solomon Thomas. Kind of late, but you know what?
Hey, you know what? That'd be a great pick of him. I'm going to use the same logic, different name. Go with Derek Barnett out of Tennessee. Staying in Orange.
I still have nightmares about that guy.
Very good college player. He'll look to carry that over to the pros.
God, I hope not. Tennessee.
Yeah. Hey, you know what is good, though, about some of these mock drafts? When you look at the top 10 and 2 of your division rivals are in the top 10 of the draft.
Oh, this is beautiful. Especially because that one of our division rivals was supposed to repeat and go back to the Super Bowl this year. You thought. Anyways, as we drop down to the number 10th pick in this year's draft, and we close out my mock draft, we realize the Buffalo Bills do not have anybody to throw the ball to, with the exception of Sammy Watkins.
If he is healthy.
Yeah, exactly. They need a guy who's tall, who's got some speed, and has a great set of hands. And I remember this guy made a spectacular catch in his most recent win, being the national title game. His quarterback's getting picked second overall.
Uh-oh.
He's going down to 10 overall.
Going back to Clemson.
The Buffalo Bills select Mike Williams.
Oh, that would be good. You know what? And hey, you know where Sammy Watkins is from? Clemson, you got the Clemson wide receiver duo right there. Well, you know what? I look at Buffalo, and I think about one name. Tyrod Taylor.
Yep.
He restructured his deal. There was all kinds of drama there. Would they keep him? Would he stay? Would he go? And I just asked, do they really believe in Tyrod?
Obviously, if they've given that much money.
But you know what? But they pull him back. They're like, give us some of that money back. Give us a discount. Because I don't think they really believe in him. I don't think they really believe it. But next year's a better class. We'll wait.
Okay.
We're going to take Mike Williams.
Ooh, we agree on one.
Just wanted to hype it up. They're going Mike Williams. But just wanted to let you know. Don't believe the love story. They don't like Tyrod like that. Just letting you know. But they'll give him Mike Williams. See if it helps. You know?
We'll settle for Mike Williams.
Alrighty, and that is it for another Beyond the Benches mock draft.
Put it in the books.
It is over, and next week is the draft again. Let us know your predictions, your hopes, your dreams, your fears, all that in the comment section down below. Sign us off, Cameron.